It's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
We are 2 weeks away from the first Friday night of the Texas high school football season.
Yeah.
Put my water bottle over here. And so if you've got questions about high school football, and we're 2 weeks and a day away from the first Texas FBS game.
Yes.
North Texas at UTEP in a Week 0 game. Craven and I were talking about this. We were talking a little bit about... okay, let me start with this. If you got questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything you got, put them in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We will get to as many as we can here up until about 12:30. So get those questions in. Craven and I were talking about this because we were talking about NFL preseason. Have you watched any NFL preseason?
No.
Okay.
I've been busy every time it's on, or else I would have.
Every year, I think football junkies do the same song and dance, which is that we go, oh my God. Like the Hall of Fame game sounds like football's back. We're going to watch it. It's great. Oh my gosh, I love it. Like football is football and football is good. So we're going to watch the Hall of Fame game. And then you flip on the Hall of Fame game and you get 6 minutes in and you go, why am I watching this? Why am I watching this? And here's the funny thing. North Texas and UTEP is going to be that for a lot of people. Now, it won't be for us because we know these teams and we're actually interested in this game.
I am locked into that.
Right. We're actually interested, but for a lot of people, because it's like an 8:30 kick or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to be locked in from the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, it's going to be like a later game. And there's going to be a lot of people like, college football. Oh, my gosh, college football is back. Awesome. North Texas, UTEP, yes, I'm locked in. And then they're going to get like 6 minutes in and they're going to go, why am I watching this?
There's another game. There's a couple other games on Week 0, but one of them's being played in Ireland, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it Tulsa?
There is. Tulsa might be there. There's a game.
Someone.
There's a game in Ireland. But yeah, because you remember back in like 2018, 2017, Rice opened Week 0 in Australia. They played Stanford in Australia, and they got obliterated. But yeah,
but they got to go to Australia,
and then they got to come home, and Hurricane Harvey had hit while they were gone.
Oh gosh,
that was a real thing that happened. They didn't have a campus
I didn't realize
anymore.
that. Yeah,
it was a weird start to Mike Bloomgren's career.
Yeah.
Or no. You know what? That was the last year of David Bailiff.
Yeah,
because they went 1-11 that year, and Coach Bailiff got fired. But yes, so anyway. We are 15 days away from college football. We are 13 days away from from high school football, and we are 2 weeks from right now away from the first Friday night of the Texas high school football season. Pickle, do we have any questions?
Yes, real fast. Two little housekeeping things here. One,
okay.
Step asked if I'll be post-gaming at Taco P after the Saturday triple header, the same time that the UTEP UNT game would be going on. That is probably a no for the first time ever. We're going back to San Marcos because there are places that I am supposed to be trying there. So it's going to be a getting out of there and getting to San Marcos before there's some taco place down there. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I will be having tacos, just not Taco P.
Issue's taking you there.
Yeah, okay, Issue's showing me around. So excited about that. The other one that we had a question is, will the Friday Night Football app get updated? It is. Do you want to?
We have an app? I'm kidding. Yeah, the app is updated. Go and update it in your Apple Store. Is that what it's called? App Store. The App Store on your Apple or the Google Play Store. Go ahead and update it, and it will have the schedules in there. It should be up and functional and rocking and rolling. Should be ready to go.
Yeah, the schedules are updated.
Schedules are up, so
go check out the schedules.
It's the Football Friday app, so either download it if you've never downloaded it before, or go and update it, and it will have it'll be there. We have put a fresh coat of paint on it. It's still the same app. Don't worry. I had to explain this to somebody, but people were like, "Why are you monkeying with the app? It's such a you guys screwed it up last time." And it's like, now last season was an adventure at the beginning of the season. I admit we did too much. The reason that we have to do that, to put it in, and I'm not a coder, so excuse me using some more layman language here. From what I understand, the back end of the app was developed in a way that was more or less dangerously out of date. And if certain things in the App Store or in the Google Play Store came to pass, then it would be essentially like obsolete from what I understand. Like it had to be rebuilt on the back end. And so that's kind of why we've been doing it. But it is the same app. It has the same functionality. There are some new and improved things that we really think you're going to like. But it is the same app. I promise. Don't freak out. And yeah, so go ahead and update it. It's in the App Store. Whether you're a God-fearing iPhone user or a savage with a green bubble Android.
Grody.
Savage. Yuck. Grow up.
Grody.
Do we have any questions, Pickle?
Also, it's Herbert's Taco Stand. That's what it is.
Herbert's Taco Stand.
Thank you,
Got
Steph. Yes, we do. Let's go with Tony Blaylock asked, other than Sock, who is the inner city school with the best chance at a state championship appearance? We had one last year. In 4A Division 1. In
Austin LBJ. Now, Austin LBJ is going to be good, but remember, they're moving up to 5A Division 2. They're moving up to 5A Division 2.
That was by choice, by the way.
I mean, not their particular choice, but an Austin ISD choice.
Yes, but they did select to bump up.
As far as an inner city school that has the best chance of making it, I think you'd have to go down into 5A and below. My thought would be you have to go down there. I mean, LBJ might be on that list in 5A Division 2.
They might be the most likely.
They might be the most likely.
Which is not 100% likely.
Right. And then at that point, you're kind of out. So, I mean, so you're looking at 5A or 6A because that's really where the inner city programs would exist. Boy, it's hard to come up with one. I would say maybe a team like, and even this is stretching it, but like Houston Lamar. Remember, Houston Lamar played for a title back in 2014? 14, I want to say. 13, 14, they played Kyler Murray in a title game in 6AD1. Maybe a team like Houston Lamar might be that team.
And like Houston Heights, Steven Dixon, he has them, on the up and up. They just would have a gauntlet getting through.
I think they're second in that district. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. That's kind of what's remarkable about South Oak Cliff is that they are kind of far and away the favorite there. I would say if you're looking for another team, it'll probably still be in 5A Division 2. Maybe a team like Austin LBJ. Maybe a team like Woodrow Wilson. You know what I mean? In a Dallas ISD district, Dallas ISD. Someone like that. But I don't necessarily see anybody outside of those. It's hard. It's hard to break through. Now, perceptions are changing. I think that's a big part of Ishmael Johnson's feature in the 2022 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Things are changing, and people are willing to invest in inner city football. But for now, kind of Sock stands alone as the representative of inner city football. A team like Skyline could do it because they've got a lot of things that I think work in their advantage.
But they need this ripple effect to actually be put into effect, not just like the idea of the ripple effect happening.
Yes, exactly right. So might be a minute, but yes. All right, what's next, Pickle?
Which Permian Basin team has the best chance of making a quarterfinal game, which would be a regional final? That would
be like a regional final matchup or something like that. Good question. Permian Basin, a lot of people pay attention to the big schools, but it's really I would say the smaller schools. The smaller you go, the more you're gonna find there. If you want me to cheat, I could say Balmorhea. Balmorhea is probably the best team in the Permian Basin. They're probably I think they're probably the best team in the Permian Basin to start the year. Of course they're I believe number 2 in 1A Division 2, and a team that I think we would expect to make it a state championship game right now. I would also look at a team like Wink. I'm interested in Wink. Cannon Gibson at the quarterback spot, back for what feels like his 60th year of eligibility. He'll be in that mix.
What about McCamey? They were good.
McCamey's an interesting team too. 2A Division 2, down there at the smaller school ranks. They're 17th in 2A Division 2. I don't know that I necessarily like them to make that kind of deep run, simply because I think if you take a look at what they're going to be up against in Region 1, I think that the power nexus in 2A Division 2 Region 1 is probably up in the Panhandle, with Wellington, right? Things like that. But I would say, they're on that list. McCamey, they're in that weird kind of District 5, although they would be, I'm sorry, I lied because they're in Region 2. So if you're in Region 2, the problem is you got to deal with Albany, you got to deal with Munster, you got to deal with teams within your own district like Wink, you got to deal with Windthorst.
That region alone is one of the toughest in the states.
They would have been, a team like McCamey and a team like Wink may have been better suited if they had been placed in Region 1 instead of that kind of weird mishmash region. Or that weird mishmash district where they took teams from Region 4 and those two teams that are moving up from the 6-man ranks in Garden City and Sterling, or Sterling City and Water Valley. That might be toughest. So I would say right now my answer is Balmorhea. My second pick would be Wink, but they're going to be in a tough region because they're going to have to get past the number 1 and the number 2 teams in the state that we have in Albany and Munster. So, that would be my pick. What's next, Pickle?
Which team in the Concho Valley do you think has the best chance to go the furthest in the playoffs? Christoval.
Yeah, it's probably Christoval.
Which they're in a heck of a district because they're in District 3 2A Division 1, which also has Sonora.
Yeah.
Which they're a very good team.
I mean, you could go with Erie County as an option. I think Wall's got an opportunity to make some noise, but my pick is probably Christoval. Yeah. Christoval's probably the chance.
Mason usually goes the furthest.
But Mason's kind of that weird, are they Concho Valley, are they Hill Country?
Well, and it would be another thing if you want to put Coleman. Are they Concho Valley? Are they
kind of
big country?
They're kind of on the edges.
Coleman would be the answer if you considered that.
As far as a true
Valley.
Concho Valley team, I would say Christoval. You're right. And I know you guys did Concho Valley talk on WTF yesterday with Amy McDaniel. I would say Christoval's probably the pick. Erie County's got a chance too. They're in 1A Division 1.
Amy's alma mater.
But I would say, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was there though when they were still 11-man.
Oh yeah. But I would say, El Dorado's an interesting sleeper as well. I would say Christoval is probably the pick. But I'm going to be honest, if I can just, and I watched WTF yesterday and it was great. I think this feels like a down period for the Concho Valley right now. I think this feels like more of a low tide year for the Concho Valley as a whole, as a region. Simply because I think that they got a couple of tough realignment draws. And I think that they are a program, or they're a region that when like a lot of the powers have kind of shifted farther west to the Permian Basin or up north to the Panhandle. And so normally those teams that have come through there, when they come through the left side of the bracket, they have to they rely on being better than the Permian Basin and being better than the Panhandle. I think it's high tide right now in the Permian Basin and in the Panhandle, and I think it's relative low tide in the Concho Valley, in my humble opinion, here on August 12th. So, what do I know?
Yes.
We'll see. All right, what's next, Pickle?
Let's talk football. He said, love the show and WTF. Thank you, Connor. How would TEP celebrate if QPR got promoted? And what is your pick for Premier League champ this season?
I think we did Premier League picks the other day. I believe I said City to win the league.
Okay.
And Liverpool second.
Poochie would like that. Isn't Poochie Liverpool?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Poochie and Craven are Liverpool people.
Oh, I didn't know that about Craven.
They're big Liverpool people. If QPR got promoted, now I've been a fan when they've gotten promoted. I was a fan when the Bobby Zamora game winner in the playoff championship.
We don't need QPR getting promoted. You would be insufferable.
I'd finally get to watch their games on TV.
Yeah, I mean, you stream them that one time. He streamed them off his phone and tried to like airplay it on the TV, and it was like this big.
You have to. I mean, it's the way it works. They're on ESPN Plus tomorrow. If you want to watch up 9 a.m., they play Sunderland on ESPN Plus. If you want to watch that.
Sunderland. Nice.
What would I do? I'd go nuts. I would celebrate. I really want to get over to a match at one point. But I would be pretty. It would be. I mean, it's weird in this line of work. You kind of start narrowing what your rooting interests are, and really the two teams that I root the hardest for are the Rangers and the other Rangers, QPR. And so I would celebrate in a very big way. But then they get promoted and they just get smashed by everyone. Like, it'd be fun. Like, it's definitely better than like being in the championship and paying $170 to watch your team all year. But it is what it is. All right, you got an ender?
I do. This is a really good ender. If you could only watch 3 regular football games a year, 1 high school, 1 college, 1 NFL game, which 3 are you choosing? I love that question. Shout out Andrew Christensen. one high school, one college, one NFL.
Okay, so automatically you'd have to go with a high school game that is a playoff game, right? I think because you need stakes. Like games are about stakes, and so I would say the 6A Division I Region 3 and 4 semifinal would be the game that I would pick.
That's fair.
Right now, I would project that to be like
Westlake.
North Shore Westlake.
Yeah.
To be like North Shore Westlake, I would be down for that. That would be my pick right now. Is the Region 3/4 semifinal in Division I, 6A Division I.
Okay.
I could also go 5A Division I, Region 1 and 2 semifinal between like maybe like Aledo and Longview or Ryan and Longview, something like that. College game.
Army-Navy.
Army-Navy's tough to pass up. Army-Navy's tough. Texas OU's
Texas
tough to pass
OU's
up.
tough to pass up.
One of those two.
I mean, A&M Alabama.
A&M Alabama is hard to pass up as well, although I don't necessarily have super high hopes for A&M going to
Mizzou
Tuscaloosa this
Vanderbilt,
year.
you know.
Mizzou, Georgia.
When I wake up one day and I say, I want to get punched in the stomach.
And
then I watch
You know what I want to
Missouri
do?
and Georgia.
You know what I want to do? I want to watch a murder.
Yeah. Y'all ever seen a dead body?
I would say that. And then for an NFL game, the Hall of Fame game. Jags and Raiders in
Big
Canton
doings.
with all backups. No, I don't know. Like, it would probably be like a wild card game, or like the Super Bowl is an easy pick, right? The Super Bowl is an easy pick. But I also think that the Super Bowl is like, from a viewing experience, is not the best the NFL has to offer.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the best the NFL has to offer is like NFC Championship game.
But I was just going to say one of either the NFC Championship or the AFC Championship. Like that's definitely the move. Now, if I had to pick like a regular season game, it would probably be Cowboys-Eagles.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting, and I hate that game every year, but I need it at least once in my life.
Yeah.
What would you do for a regular season high school game? Could you, like, because there's a bunch of them, like, Shiner Refugio is a week that we look forward to every single year. Like,
Shiner
that one
Refugio.
is nearly impossible to...
Like Mid-County Madness.
Yep.
Like if you want to, like P&G Nederland, I could be down. And, like, those are teams that I think P&G has a chance to be really good. Nederland's probably, like, battling for 4th place. But, like, just from an atmosphere perspective, just like a vibes perspective.
Vibes, yeah. Big vibes scale.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I always like...
people are going to say, like, Duncanville DeSoto, and it's
I always like Munster Windthorst.
Yeah.
That's always one of... Because you're guaranteed to have, like, the lowest scoring game. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.